all of you, especially to John's relatives and friends who have come from near and far to witness this book launch. I first had the pleasure of working with John on an article which he contributed to Pulau Pinang magazine, of which I was editor in 1992. That was 23 years ago. About 5 years ago, John Lim entrusted Areca Books with the production of his magnum opus, and today you are witnessing the fruits of this collaboration. I believe that the Penang House and Straits Architect will mark a watershed in our research and understanding of Penang's architectural heritage. If in the past we had to view our built heritage through the glass darkly, as it were, only guessing and speculating about their origins, with John's book, a sharp and bright light has been lit, illuminating the identity of the architects. We can now see clearly who they were, what influenced them, the very plans and the houses that were produced, and the special features of the Penang House which makes our legacy worth preserving. A place without identity is not worth investing in, whether financially, intellectually, or emotionally. The Penang House is an iconic architectural legacy which gives Penang its identity. They were the products of highly creative architects and builders and craftsmanship of skilled artisans, reflecting the fashions of their times. The people who built and originally lived in these wonderful houses are dead and gone. We celebrate these heritage landmarks not mainly because they represent the lifestyles of the rich, the famous, and sometimes utterly decadent, but because they represent a dialogue of ideas about architectural beauty, proportion, tropical comfort, domesticity, and urban civility. Because they embody the civilizational influences which have become rooted in our soil. We have a strong attachment to these landmarks because they remind us of the social aspirations of our ancestors, our very own Akong Ama, who worked so hard to give us a better life. And it is this legacy which will anchor the cultural pride and local identity of future generations and inspire them to create in new ways. Areca Books is practically a social enterprise, not intentionally so, which exists to bring out books like this one, to nourish local talents and to build local knowledge, to validate the importance of our social history and the centrality of our places, and make books about Asian culture and heritage available to local and international audiences, scholars, architects, and enlightened readers like yourselves. As you may know, I'm also president of the Penang Heritage Trust, formed in 1986, leading a vanguard of committed individuals who believe that we have a sacred responsibility to pass our heritage intact to future generations. Therefore, we are overjoyed to see such a prominent gathering of fine friends and heritage lovers. I wish to note the presence of Malaysia's leading architects such as Datuk Seri Lim Chong Kiat, Datuk Ken Yang, Lawrence Low, who is also chairman of Badan Warisan Asia, as well as other illustrious members of Pertubuhan Architect Malaysia. And I also wish to note that this is, in fact, the first time in many years that the founders and leaders of the Penang Heritage Trust are gathered together in one room. Again, Datuk Seri Lim Chong Kiat, Amy here, I think she will come a bit later. Datuk Nasir Arif, Dr. Chun Simpoi, who are all past presidents of the Penang Heritage Trust. Let me remind everyone that there's much, much more to do to celebrate and to preserve our heritage. In Georgetown, we have a World Heritage Site. But beyond that, we have many other precious heritage buildings that have survived, but are not protected. Heritage conservation can only be sustained if all of you, and more people like you, lend us your overwhelming support. Think of what it might take to lay a well-endowed foundation for the future and help us pass this torch of passion to future generations. Although John made his career in Singapore, he was, for decades, the lone pioneer of the study of Penang's architectural history. Through his role as an educator, he has produced several proteges and paved the way for a new generation of architectural historians. So with this, I would very much like to thank Dr. John Lim for valiantly dedicating his life's work to building and sharing this knowledge and validating our architectural heritage for us, for all of us, and for generations yet to come. Thank you.